Hi everyone, my name is Philip and welcome to my channel. Today we'll talk about a bouncing ball assignment, and this exercise is like a basic, fundamentals of animation, so you have to be really comfortable with that. We'll go through a whole process. We'll start from picking the right reference and from analyzing it, and then we'll go to Maya and basically create animation. Okay, hopefully you like this setup. I've created like this small animation cave for me. I think right now it's a little bit nicer, more cozy background. Okay, let's get started. Right now I will show you here, I've downloaded already some reference from YouTube. So let's watch it. Okay, so this is a little bit like lighter ball with a lot of bounces. And what I would suggest you if you are starting out is don't do it like in 100% from your head, from your imagination. Try to pick the reference, and not just like some random reference. Try to imitate some like a material, okay, realistic material, because then, or like an object like here, because then you can predict and imitate some like weight and material on top of that. You're not doing this artificial object in 3D space. You're actually trying to imitate real life, and that's what your work will look like in most cases. If you, for example, work for the cinema, you will try to combine your CG, your 3D, to a real world, okay, maybe with some background with an actors, okay, and it has to blend perfectly in order to be a believable experience. Okay, so this is, in this case, it's tomato. I like it. Not a lot of bounces here. Onion. A little bit more bounces. And then this one. I just didn't like this abrupt stop. It won't fit to the our 3D ball. Okay, so this one is polymer ball. Lot of bouncing. Okay, so I've picked an onion, and I will try to replicate that. Not of course in 100%, but I will try to get some inspiration from that. So like 5 or so bounces. Okay, let's do it. So I will start from the same distance, like it's maybe 40 centimeters. So it should, bounce here. So there won't be a lot of bouncing or like stretching and squashing like in cartoony animation. I will try to just be pretty close to the reference. So I already created two views, okay, on my viewport. One is responsible for a camera view, and another one will be showing just my workspace. So okay, we have a one bounce here, like a contact with the ground, then a rebounce. It probably will happen somewhere here. And let's compare that. Okay, so how much, okay, take a look. This is the start of the first bounce. Then we have this, okay, so it's like a 3 times smaller, I think. So also we can think about it right now. We can compare this and this. Yeah, maybe here we can get higher slightly. And let's try to just copy paste really quickly without any overthinking. In this case we can go a little bit more forward already. Maybe here less. And let's bounce it again. try to put some surface on the ground so you know where there is a contact happening. By the way, what is the height? Okay, right now way smaller. That's good, and I think that would be like our last bounce here. So take a look, not only our values are getting smaller, but also the space between each key, okay, this and this, it's shrinking. Maybe here we can go even like for 1-2 frames and 1-2 frames and have like small bumps again. Okay, and let's compare that. Of course it won't be perfect. So these two bounces are really small, and what is interesting about this that we have some like a settle down at the end. Even without bouncing, you know, onion is still moving. Okay, so we will have some additional rotation. Cool. And honestly, I think that's actually enough to work from the preview. And right now we can go to our animation and graph editor. Okay, and this is a wonderful tool, and actually this assignment is mostly based on this. And your job is right now to analyze it and make sure that we will end up with something nice. So first of all, we can see translation Y, and this is the most important axis for us, and I promise you right after finishing with this we'll be really close to the finish line actually. So this is our vertical motion. Of course, the majority of the movement happens in vertical space, so it's the most important thing. And this one is movement on the right side, like the horizontal. Of course, it's also important, okay? And this one is responsible for depth movement, like closer and further from the screen. So let's try to do this first. Here it's we have a proper start because we don't have like an acceleration. So usually people have something like this, and then it looks a little bit like what we had on the reference. So it's, you know, accelerating from this point, but we don't want that. We want to this ball to fall from big distance, and it has to already start with big energy. Okay, it has to fall down faster. So yeah, linear start always, and that's cool. But right now we already can see this. I'm not sure in this scale, but currently it is visible. Currently we'll have some small deceleration. Just before hitting the ground, it starts to decelerate. So we don't want that. This contact with the ground has to happen immediately. If you're, you know, falling to the ground, you are not stopping right before it. So we need to create the linear interpolation here, and to do that we have to break this tangency, and this button allows you to do that. So select it and let's try to make it correct. I think something like this works. And then right after it also has to bounce with the linear interpolation. And then here it actually can stay in the air for a while. So we can change that. We can create like a nice arcs here. Same with here. Same with here and here. So you can just press auto if you want to maintain nice arc in your tangents. Let's go here, and of course it looks correct. Right now we don't have deceleration. I will just try to polish it. And here it's the same mistake. Same. Okay, and let's go to our curve responsible for the horizontal movement. So let's try to analyze it and make sure we understand what's going on. Currently, we have a constant movement on the right side of the screen, here on the first section, and then we have some noises, right? And then we have slightly like deceleration and then stop. Well, I think it would be easier to just simplify this and just make sure that there is a smooth deceleration. Okay, so we don't want these noises to happen. You can even go and even like delete the keys, but it's not necessary in this case. Let's just move it like this. Okay, and then just before stopping, you can even switch that to the auto so the curve is a little bit softer. Okay, I think we finished with curves on the graph editor. Let's watch it. Okay, let's start a preview. Okay, nice. I think right now what we can do is we can maintain a little bit bigger movement right at the end. So right now we can delete a few keys and just, you know, exaggerate that. Nice. But we have a problem, in my opinion, right now. I think this is way too long. You know, it's too slow. So what we can do is we can just scale it, okay, and move it around slightly. So I like the ending, and I think just the beginning is way too slow. This one and this one. Okay, so I think it's just bouncing too slow, and I will just exaggerate this. Of course, it's causing some problem. I know what happened. So, for example, since we wanted to keep it like linear, remember? So on the reference it was like that, and this curve had a better like a moment here because it had like a bigger speed around just before hitting the ground. Okay, you can see this, and if we just switched this to the linear, you have to also exaggerate like a vertical translation, because then right before hitting the ground this moment is way slower. So we just need, right after change, we also have to exaggerate our values. But what we can do also is we can keep it like it is on the reference, and then it's correct. It's closer to what we want. Or we can actually scale the values and just make it work. So I will just exaggerate this. Here I will just make sure that there is a top speed just before hitting. Here I think we can just push it. Okay, and right now it works. Maybe we can even, just push this further. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit different than what we have on the reference, because in this case, ball is dropping from bigger distance. And because of that, we also need to exaggerate this slightly. maybe not the... Let's compare it. So how would this behave if onion would drop from such a distance? Maybe it's like too high, I think. It starts to look too bouncy. And right now we can even tweak a little bit the timing. So currently I think that this is a little bit too long. So we can maybe switch not only the values but also how long things last. Let's just push it here. So the first jump is shorter. This one also. And I will select it with shift and middle button, and you can move it like that. Okay, right now it's closer. So let's scale it. Because before it had this feeling that it's underwater. It didn't like that. So right now I scaled everything by 2 frames and then the smaller ones by 1 frame. Okay, and right now it's much closer to what we wanted. So if we figure out already our translation path, then we can add the rotation. So press 6 to see the texture, or if you don't have a texture, at least you can press wireframe mode. So it shows the grid here, and you can really see what is the rotation, okay, how does it happen. But here we have texture, so I don't use it. And let's animate the rotation controller, okay, responsible for the rotation. It's really important to split the translation from the rotation, okay, so it's really clear for us what we are doing. And this one's meant to be only to rotation. Okay, so I will select first key, then the last key, and I think until this moment I will just start rotating it. I'll just break connection. Okay, it can be locked. Anyway. So I'm adding equal rotations. Okay, until this moment, and then here I want to be more precise, maybe until this moment. So when it's sliding, I just want to have more precision. So I'll just go here and I will really focus on this moment. But first I just want to make sure that this works. Okay, I think it is working. Let's focus on this moment. Okay, so just these 8 frames. And we just need to make sure that we have enough rotation and translation and that there is no sliding effect. So right now, I think there is no enough rotation around here. So we just need to press S, create a key and add it. Okay, right now it's working. And then not enough rotation, so I'll just exaggerate the values. And right now, what is happening after frame 44? Let's watch it. During these 2 frames, it's only sliding. So what you can do actually is to zoom in, take a closer look. and it's working until this. You can increase the size of the manipulator by pressing plus. And then here, yeah, it looks nice right now. And then it stops and we have some movement for 2 frames. Okay, more. Right now we can go and smooth in Graph Editor. If it's not enough for you, Graph Editor will help you with precision, in my opinion. Got it. Okay, right now I think it works. Of course, we've done only the vertical and horizontal movement, but if you want to have a bigger challenge, then you can also add this movement, closer and further from the camera. You can even get this assignment to another level and just frame by frame analyze your reference and just try to imitate not only the material but also the behavior of the object. Okay, in this case we've been only analyzing like the timing and the distance from the ground. You can of course play around with weight, with the distance, with the material, with the size. So it's really great assignment. And then if you feel comfortable with this stage, then you can move on and animate even 2 balls interacting with each other. You can add an obstacles to the scene. And yeah, I will show you how to do that. We'll get through this together. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe. If you have some questions, then reach out to me in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and bye.